And now, let's take a look at what's new at BoardGameBliss.com with Nick Meanahan.
Hey now, it's your board gaming pal Nick here, and it is time for another exciting episode of What's New at BoardGameBliss.com, my amazing sponsor. As usual, I have to tell you, Board Game Bliss has an amazing selection of games, and I really mean that. They've got a bunch of obscure, hard-to-find stuff, as well as the newest, hottest hits. You can expect them to get a lot of the stuff that came out at Gen Con last week as soon as it's released. But the stuff I want to tell you about today is stuff that you may not have even heard of. It's kind of flying under the radar, but rest assured, if you want something that's brand new, just came out in the last few weeks, you can find it at Board Game Bliss. I'm also going to give you my standard disclaimer, which is that some of these games I have either hands-on experience with, or I have just heard about them and I have an opinion about them, in which case I will share that with you, but I don't necessarily know a lot about the games I'm going to talk about, so you should not treat these as reviews. Rather, I'm just going to put the information out there, tell you what I think might be interesting, and you can make up your own decision. Regardless of what you decide to do, I think you should definitely go to BoardGameBliss.com, take a look around. I guarantee you are going to find something that's like, whoa, what is that? I got to check that out. That's what happens to me every time I go on that site, and I've been going there for months and months and months now. Anyways, let's move on to the update. First up is Magnum Sol, which is a Polish board game I had never ever heard of before. It's from the publisher Gry Leonardo, which is a very unusual name for a publisher, at least in this country. It might be perfectly normal, like John Smith over in Poland. But this game has a very interesting theme. It's a Euro game. You are going down into salt mines and trying to use the salt that you bring up in order to fulfill orders. The game takes place historically in like the 1300s. It also has one of the most beautiful game boards I have ever seen. Really, really digging the art on this one. There's also an expansion that is available at Board Game Bliss called Magnum Sol Muria, which adds a fifth player, and now you get to harvest brine as well. I don't know anything about the gameplay of this one. I just know I dig weird themes like that. At least it's not trading in the Mediterranean. And again, the game looks really cool. I would love to give this one a shot in the future. Another Polish game, Heroes from Lion Games. Now, I'm actually getting a copy of this game. The last order I placed at Board Game Bliss included this game because it really looks amazing. The artwork is phenomenal, but also I'm kind of worried about the gameplay, but it also sounds incredibly intriguing. It is a real-time dueling game for, I think, up to 4 players, where like you're summoning monsters and mages and using your dice to allocate resources, and I suppose it's all happening in real time, which could be amazing. It could also be not that great, but man, I am really, really eager to try it out and find out for myself. Queen's Architect from Queen Games, appropriately enough, is a Euro game about being an architect in a medieval kingdom and having to build as many buildings as you can for the queen. All that seems pretty obvious. You can probably tell that just from the title of the game. Now, I've heard this game getting some blowback just because it is a very tried and true, dyed in the wool, if that's a phrase I'm using correctly, Euro game, which means it doesn't look like it's doing anything that particularly new. But the game is getting quite a bit of buzz, and I think it's because most people, when they play Euro games where they're building buildings is part of what you can do in the game, most people love building buildings. It's like the favorite thing that everyone loves and appreciates doing in Euro games, and this game is all about that. So because of that, I'm actually looking forward to it as well. Also from Queen Games is Parfume. That is perfume for you heathens. And this is a dice chucking game. I think it uses the Yahtzee style dice mechanic, at least partially. But what you're trying to do is gather resources to make these different types of perfumes, which I think is a fascinating theme. I'm always into new and unique themes. So even though, yes, it's back in ancient times and you're trading goods, at least the fact that you're trading perfume seems like a really cool idea. I've heard very polarizing things about this game, but I've also heard that it's a very good family weight game, and some people just absolutely love it. And I'm actually looking forward to trying it at some point in the future. So if that sounds like your type of thing, check it out. 111 is another Polish game from a publisher whose name I can't pronounce. I won't even try. Sorry about that. But I didn't want to leave my wargamer buddies hanging out in the cold, so this game is for you. This is a war game where you are taking control of a fighter squadron in World War II, of course, the Polish fighter squadrons, and you're trying to outmaneuver your opponent. This is for 2 players only. I don't know much more about it than that. I'm not really into war games very much, but this seems to come very well regarded, and if I was going to play a war game, I definitely want to play one with fighter jets. That seems really, really cool. Finally, a game I've actually played and can tell you about. This is Dragonwood from Gamewright. You can actually go and watch my review right this second. Well, finish watching this, then go watch it. Dragonwood is a light dice chucking and hand management game. You are adventurers who are going through a forest, and you have to beat down these monsters, probably in a very gentle way. This is a very family-friendly game, and collect them as victory points. But in order to do that, you need to make essentially kind of poker hands of adventurer cards of different colors, or maybe even a straight of cards, things like that, in order to get as many dice as possible to roll, and then use those as combat strength to fight the different monsters out in the center row, or to gather items that will help you out in getting monsters in the future. Now, I think this is a solid game. It wasn't necessarily for me because it is really, really light, but I love the artwork. I love the other components as well. I do think that if you are looking for a game to play with your kids who are transitioning into heavier games, or if you just have very casual friends who aren't into heavier games as well, then this is definitely going to be a game that's going to be up their alley. In fact, I gave my copy of the game to a mother who wanted to play it with her son, who's getting to that age where, you know, she wants to bump him up to a more difficult game, but not too difficult. This is like the perfect thing for that. And again, it looks great, it has a really neat theme, and it is a decent game. It's just very, very light. So if that sounds like it's for you, give it a look. Well, that is just a small fraction of the games you can find at BoardGameBliss.com. Do check them out. They are an amazing sponsor, and I'm so happy to be working with them. And I'm so happy that I have amazing fans that also support them as well. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.